The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to the Lowdown Podcast, your home for the untold stories of sports, presented by Lojo Media. I'm your host, Lauren A. Jones, live in Los Angeles, and today is NBA edition of the Lowdown Podcast. I have a very special guest in studio today who's joining me, one of my dear friends, Dewayne Dedmon, NBA center, who went to USC with me. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm happy to have you here.
Good to be here.
I had to kind of nudge a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Off season.
No, but, you know what I'm saying? I had to come through, show love to the Lojo Media.
I appreciate it.
No doubt.
Well, let's start off with the NBA playoffs, which are going on right now. We were just watching a moment ago, Philadelphia and the Celtics. What are your thoughts on this year's playoffs? I know, unfortunately, the Atlanta Hawks had a bit of a struggle this season, but to say the least. But, you know, what are your thoughts on this year's playoffs so far?
I mean, this year's playoffs has been really good. I mean, just as far as, like, the teams that have surprised me, like the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell. He's a tremendous athlete, just the way he plays and how much confidence he has. And he's carrying that team right now, and how, you know, LeBron's going to be LeBron. So, I mean, he was a problem for Toronto today. But, I mean, all in all, like, the series have been pretty good this year.
Yeah, you've been there, you know, Western Conference Finals. What is that experience like to play on such a major stage, national stage? I mean,
it's really no better feeling. I mean, besides probably getting to the championship, you know, and holding that championship up. But, I mean, just the playoffs the game is just another level. You know, so I mean, once you step into the playoffs from game one, you have to elevate your game to another level. And then Western Conference Finals, I mean, it was, you know, we didn't make it out, but you know, it was definitely a good experience just to see how everybody plays on that level and what you have to bring to get there.
Of the places where you've played, what's like the toughest arena to play in?
Toughest arena, I would say Oklahoma City.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, just the way the crowds bring it every game, and probably as far as altitude-wise, Denver.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, just those two is probably the top two.
There's so many young, like, talent this year, I feel like, that are playing well at such a early stage in their career. What does that mean for kind of the future of the NBA? And are there any guys that you're watching right now, like the Donovan Mitchells or Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, that you're like, I would want to play with that guy, you know, just the energy level and the talent that they have?
I mean, they're all great young talents, and I would love to play with any of them. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, but I mean, they're doing well. They're doing great right now as far as what they're doing in the playoffs at a young age. Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, especially what they got going in Philly. I mean, you know, Brent Brown, he's stuck through the ups and the downs, and you know, he's got his team to a good spot this year, and they deserve it. So I mean, they're doing well. So
your first team was Orlando, but you ended up with the Spurs. Was that correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a little journey, you know.
Okay, right. Yeah. But first
contract, we'll call it first contract.
Okay, first contract was with Orlando. And then, you know, you transitioned to the Spurs. Mm. And what was it like to play for Pop? I mean, that's kind of, you know, you see him on the interviews and he's just so stern and solid. It's just like, what was it like to play for him and be in the locker room with him? I
mean, you know, he's a great person, great individual off the court. You know what I'm saying? If you get to know him personally, he's a great guy. But as far as a coach, he demands a lot and he expects a lot from you. So, I mean, you come in there with the utmost respect of him and what he's done, and, you know, just kind of just follow suit and do what he tells you to do. I mean, it works out for him. So, I mean, it's a great organization. He's a great coach, you know. So, I mean, he's doing well.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask. There's this whole looming thing around Kawhi Leonard. It's like a dark cloud. It's like, what's going on with Kawhi? You've been in the locker room with him. Can you give any insight into, like, what your theory is as to why he's not playing or he decided not to play?
I mean, I really don't have a theory, but, you know, Kawhi, I know him personally. We're, you know what I'm saying, pretty good friends, and You know, I mean, if he's hurt and he doesn't feel like he's able to play, then, you know, I'm with him. So, I mean, it's tough for the team, whatever. He's one of the best players they have to go through this. But, you know, at the end of the day, if your body's not right, then you gotta take your time to get right.
Right. And it's obviously also a contract year. You're similarly going through
player option.
Player option. So what is that period like for you? What goes through your mind? Like, how do you get through those years of like
getting ready for a new team? I mean, it's tough at times because you really don't like last year when I decided to opt out. It was kind of tough. You know, you don't really you expect it to be so much quicker. So I mean, just sitting there waiting. I mean, you talk to your agents. You know, they have confidence in you and know what's going on behind the scenes or whatever, and you know, just stay ready. And then when the opportunity comes, you just kind of got to take it. So I mean, it was pretty good.
You mentioned a little bit earlier that you had a journey to get to the NBA. I want to talk about that since the NBA draft is coming up and a lot of these guys are kind of going through that now. What was that experience like for you, and what kind of kept you motivated and resilient in thinking, you know, I'm going to make it. I have to get there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, so I went undrafted as far as the draft goes, but you know, my year, but you know, so I ended up going to the D League. I started with Golden State. I was on their team preseason, got cut. Ended up going to their affiliate G League now team, and then played there. Then ended up getting a call up back to Golden State, and then sent back down. So I mean, that period was that probably was one of the toughest periods I had to go through as far as my basketball career. With, am I doing the right thing? Is this going to work out? You know, I mean, in the highs and the lows there, I just had to, you know, kind of just some days just go in my room and just talk to myself and, you know what I'm saying, make sure this is what I wanted to do, and just kind of just put my head down and just work for it, and then it ended up working out for me that year.
I remember talking to you during the draft process. You were going, you know, through workouts. You were sick. You know, it was traveling on a flight every other weekend, you know, just in different cities and stuff. So what advice would you give to the players that are kind of going through that process or going to be going through that process soon?
I mean, you just gotta stay ready. You know what I'm saying? Any time especially when you get there, you know what I'm saying, just make sure you take all the precautions to make sure your body's ready so that you can put on a show for however long that workout is. You know what I'm saying? Show them 110% of what you can do. And, you know, if more, you know what I'm saying, if not, you know what I'm saying? So just trying to just go in, play hard, just be aggressive, and, you know, let your game come to you. Don't force anything that's not supposed to happen. So I mean, just playing hard, stay aggressive, and be yourself.
I know that, you know, you had a very unique journey, not just to the NBA, but to playing basketball. You didn't play until you were 18 on a team.
True.
So, I mean, that's just like, it's remarkable, really, that, you know, you're now in your, what is this, your fifth year?
Fifth season, yeah.
Fifth season in the NBA, you know, and you didn't play basketball on a team until you were 18. So tell me a little bit about how that all came to be.
Okay, so as a youngster, my mom she's real religious, so we grew up more in the church and going to church and things like that. So sports really wasn't like on a pedestal in our household. So we had to you know, go to church and things like that. So when it came to sports, my mom, she wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
So I finally turned 18, told her like this is what I want to do. This is what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So she really didn't have a choice, but she allowed me to. To play basketball my senior year. Didn't really play. I was just on the team. And then...
well, I mean, what was that like? Because you go from, you know, not having played... A lot of these guys have played basketball since they were...
AAU,
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And you decide, you know, in your senior year that you're going to pick up basketball and be a part of a team. And that this is going to be, like, what you pursue as a career. So, like, what went into that decision?
Man, to be honest... Just playing basketball went into that decision. I had no idea that basketball was going to take me to where it's taking me today.
Right.
But I mean, you know, I was just a young kid, wanted to play. I loved the game. You know, I loved everything about basketball. I just wanted to be part of a team, and I wanted to play. So I got a little taste of it in high school of being part of a team, and kind of just got addicted to it, and took it from there to junior college, and then from the rest kind of history after that. Went to SC after that. And then,
Fight on.
Hey. Shout out to the Trojans.
Yeah, thank you. I remember your college visit.
Oh, yes.
Man, we tried to sell it to you hard.
Man.
Yeah, come here. We're fun.
This is where it is. SC, come to SC.
Right. What was that experience like for you? Yeah.
Nah, I mean, coming to SC, on my visit, I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, I really didn't visit much other places. Right. So, I mean, just to see how that college just worked and everything, it was just kind of like its own little oasis in the middle of the hood. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that was really cool. And then, I was close to home, so I just felt like it was a good decision. And I just came to USC and been fighting on ever since.
Yeah, represent. Well, I also have to ask you, going back to the NBA playoffs now.
Of course. Because
I didn't get your teams on wax. So, Western Conference, who's coming out of the Western Conference?
I got Houston coming out of the West this year. I know, I said it.
That is a surprise.
Houston, H-Town.
So you're not rocking with the Warriors this year?
I mean, look, knock on wood, but, injuries have been hurting the Warriors this year. And the way James Harden is playing and the way he has that team rallied around him and Chris Paul and Capella, I'm saying they might do it this year.
Okay.
I got faith.
And then out of the Eastern Conference, we saw earlier today, LeBron.
Yeah, so I got LeBron coming out.
I got LeBron
coming out of the East.
LeBron and company.
Yes.
Okay, touche. And then, so you have the Houston Rockets taking it all? Is that what I'm hearing?
I got H-Town.
Wow.
They need it, man. So this is the year, you know what I'm saying? James Harden's the MVP.
The Astros, earlier this season.
Astros, they might as well just go all the way and win it. Why not?
I would like to see that. I mean, L.A. native leading his team to a championship. I'm always ready to represent the beard. Come to the Drew League this summer and represent.
Well, shit, if you're in the championship, you might not have enough time. My bad.
All right, now.
My bad.
Well, from championships to your Philadelphia Eagles this year.
Hey, talk about it.
Winning the championship. You're a huge Eagles fan. Where did that fandom start?
Man, the fandom started when I was younger. And they had that boy Donovan McNabb over there at QB.
Not mad at it.
That's when I fell in love with the Eagles and just been riding ever since. Donovan McNabb, we got Brian Dawkins.
So you're a big NFL fan? Or you're a big
Eagles fan. There you go. Talk to him.
Okay. So where were you when the Eagles won?
I was at home. I was watching it in the concaves of my downstairs area.
Amen.
Yelling. I'm pretty sure my neighbors heard me. I was going crazy.
Well, I was just happy that a Trojan was on the team. Oh, but I feel like it's kind of easy to do in Nelson Aguilar. Yeah. Shout out. Right on.
Plug.
Okay, so what are you thinking? Is there going to be a repeat in the Mist for the Philadelphia Eagles?
I mean, have you not been watching the offseason? We've been loading up. I mean,
the Rams are looking pretty.
Yeah, the Rams. Yeah,
they look pretty nice.
I'm not really a fan of the Rams. They kind of took my quarterback out, but it is what it is. But hey, I got in the way we've been doing this offseason and loading up, and we got a couple new draft picks. We got a little tight end. We got some.
You're looking forward to training camp and all that? Do you you've gone to a couple games, have you? Eagles games?
Not regular season. I've been to a preseason game.
That's on the bucket list, no?
It definitely is. I mean, I wish I could have went to the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
But, didn't work out that way.
Yeah, wow. Oh, well, that would make sense. So what was the Atlanta like for you this year?
It was fun. I mean, it was definitely a journey, to say the least. I mean, I was able to evolve my game.
Yeah.
Show a little bit more than what I've been showing in the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. So, I definitely have fun playing and, hopefully get to keep growing in this league.
Where do you think that you've had the most growth? Like, what team do you think you've had the most growth with in terms of your game and then also in terms of personally?
Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta. Okay. I feel like, I showed a lot. I mean, my first 3 years of Orlando, I didn't play much. Mm-hmm. San Antonio gave me my first legit opportunity.
Yes.
And then, I ended up starting there, which gave me even more opportunity, mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then I was able to take that role and get a starting job in Atlanta and develop that role even more. So hopefully, everybody liked what I did, you know.
I'm sure they did. Call him. I'm the brand manager over here.
Oh, yeah.
Call me first. No, but, you know, you mentioned last season and, you know, the kind of the decision to opt out. And that's a bold move. I mean, it takes a certain level of, you know... Confidence, yeah. Absolutely. So what went into your decision and, you know, how did you kind of arrive to, I'm going to go for it and test the market and see, you know, where I land?
I mean, I feel like I put myself in a better position than I was in going into the offseason before. Mm. So, I mean, why not? Why not try and, you know, put my name back out there and see if somebody bite. And San Antonio bit, so I went there, and then, no. Atlanta bit.
I'm like, no, we got you.
My bad.
No, I got you.
Atlanta bit. I went to Atlanta, my bad.
Right.
So, yeah.
Shout out to both organizations.
Yeah, great organizations.
Right.
Definitely both of them.
What was the first moment that you kind of realized, like, I've arrived in the NBA? I remember watching SportsCenter and seeing a dunk of yours when you were in San Antonio.
Christmas Day?
Yes. And I was just like, but for you, what was that moment?
Probably, let's say, it was sometime in San Antonio. I don't remember exactly when, but I know just being in San Antonio, the culture and how everything kind of just went together. I kind of just realized, like, this is where it is. Is
it surreal for you to be here, right? Like, you know, going through all the motions of, like, not having played and not going the traditional route and, you know, having to battle between the D-League and, you know, getting called up when you first got to the league and now, like, to be here, to be in your 5th season, is that surreal for you?
No, it's definitely surreal. I mean, like I said, I just playing basketball, I had no idea, like, I remember conversations I used to have at the, you know what I'm saying, at the playground, like with my friends. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to walk on.
Right.
I'm going to walk on to some college and try and play and da-da-da-da-da. You know, just talking mess, like I had no plan. And for my life to change how it has and me to be where I'm at right now is truly a blessing. So, I mean, I thank God every day.
What has the biggest change for your family been? And how have you been able to kind of affect them? I know you're really close to your mom and your sister.
Probably the biggest change for my mom, she really ain't got to worry about much anymore. And, you know, I mean, just for me, like, you know, I've been the man of the house ever since a young age. So, you know, my father passed away when I was younger. So, I mean, just for me to be able to provide for my mom and my sisters whenever they need anything, to be able to say, yeah, I got you, or to be able to hold them down, whatever it may be, like, it's definitely like one of the best feelings.
You hosted a camp. You have your second annual. Yeah. So when did that like kind of become something that you were passionate about, and what is that experience like for you to interact with children, kind of the next generation, to see them and their growth?
I mean, it first happened, I want to say one or 2 years after I was in the league. And it was just something that I've always just had a passion for, just something I wanted to give back to the kids and be able to do something for them. And so I talked to my agents, and we put together this free camp for the kids back home. And it's been going great. I mean, we have great turnouts every year, and it's been fun. It's been really enjoyable. I mean, the kids come with a lot of energy. And just to be able to put something on like that for the youth in my neighborhood, you know, it's been pretty fun. I mean, a little kid, his name slips my mind, but every year we take a picture, and then the next year he brings the picture with like a little card or a little note, and I keep them every year.
I love it.
I mean, I got 2 of them so far, so hopefully I get number 3 this summer.
That's sweet. I also wanted to ask you, you know, a little bit about our Trojans and the whole March Madness. Do you feel like
we got robbed? I beat you to it. Yes. We definitely got robbed. Did you not watch this?
I watched. I was mad for a while. I'm still mad, honestly.
Who got in that? Was it Arizona State?
Yes.
Got in?
Arizona State. No. Was it Arizona State? I don't.
Look, somebody got in that wasn't supposed to get in. We were supposed to be in. Okay. We had a better record. We made it to the finals.
That part.
Look, hey. But, you know, it is what it is.
For those young guys, Elijah and Jordan, what's your advice to them right now, kind of going as they transition into their next phase? I
mean, just like I said, grind it out. You know, we probably working out every day already. Just keep working, you know, and when you get that call to go to these workouts, you got to kill. You got to put on. You got to kill. You got to sell yourself, sell your brand. and make sure everybody love you. So that's it.
I know that you weren't always this tall.
Nah.
Right, so let's just talk about that growth spurt period of, like, I heard within...
the knee problems and the knee
I'm talking about, like, coaches noticing from, like, 1 year to the next, it was like a 6'8" to 7 foot. Yeah. How... It's unheard of.
I've been talking to my DNA trying to figure out myself. I have no idea. It was one summer... Yeah, you can't really explain growing. Right. I was in the weight room trying to lift. I was good at 6'8".
Right.
But I mean, it was really crazy. I mean, it was a lot of ice tubs and ice on my knees, and just the pain was ridiculous. But we made it out 7 foot. You feel me?
Hey.
6'12" on a good day.
6'12" on a good day. Well, I appreciate you so much for being here and being a guest of the show.
I appreciate you having me.
I hope that it wasn't.
Out.
Yes. And wishing you all the best for this upcoming season.
Appreciate it.
And now I'm going to get to Shot Caller of the Week. Dewayne mentioned it a little bit earlier, but this guy has just been balling. And I said it before All-Star. I said that this guy was Rookie of the Year in my eyes. Donovan Mitchell has been playing out of his mind. And it's not just that. I think it's like the level of confidence and poise. It's like even when he's not scoring, he's doing other things to contribute on a regular basis to a team in the playoffs. I mean, nobody expected this guy to be the player that he's become. And and I watched him against the Clippers in person, and all I could tweet was that he was just impressive. It's just really impressive to watch. And I'm really excited for all of these young guys that, I feel like the NBA for a while was a little boring, to be honest, and aging to, the stars were getting a little old. So to have this new crop of talent coming in that is so promising and just dominating at the highest level has been really enjoyable to watch. And I look forward to seeing him, continue through this playoff series, and hopefully they make it out. But I don't know that that's going to happen. I'm just rooting for the kid. But anyways, shout out to Donovan Mitchell. He's my shot caller of the week. And moving forward, I have to just say that, guys, I wanted to mention the launch party did happen. LojoMedia.com is live. So please go check that out for the latest episodes of the podcast, latest episodes of content. There's going to be amazing things coming for the Drew League this upcoming season starting May 26th. So watch out for that. And I have an internship program that I'm opening up applications for. So if you're interested in sports media, broadcasting this summer, and you want to learn from me and my experience, email me at info@lojomedia.com. And then lastly, I just have to mention that this is the last show of season 1 of the episodes. I've had so many amazing guests this season, in addition to my amazing crew, and I couldn't have done it without them. I want to shout out everybody on the team, from my producer, Charlene Harper, to my graphic designer, Kafre, who's actually back on the East Coast and has been doing everything remote. I appreciate you. My production assistant and social media coordinator, Tiana Hunter, and Alan Coates, my behind-the-scenes videographer. All of you guys have made this happen. And like I said, to all of the people that have come on, from Cassie Athena to Casey Veggies, all my Trojans that have made appearances, Aaron Holiday, shout out to all of you guys. Thank you guys for making my dream a reality. I had my first show, so thank you for tuning in. And a big shout out to Morris Media Studios for hosting my show every week. Poetess, thank you so much for allowing me to realize this vision that I had a couple years ago, and now it is finally coming true. So stay tuned, guys, on Instagram at The Lowdown Podcast. There will be new content coming on, as well as at Lojo Media. You can see everything there. New interviews will be coming soon, and we'll be back in June for the podcast season 2. So stay tuned. Thanks.